Welcome back to Current Events with Jay Daly. Today's story hits at the heart of what it means to stand up for your beliefs in a time of growing hostility. Across the country, conservatives are showing strength and resolve.
Stay up to date with current events. Everything to be in the know. You'll find in the show with your host Jay Daly.
This week, a disturbing series of politically motivated attacks came to light in New Mexico. The suspect, Jamison Wagner, 40 years old, now under federal arrest. According to the Department of Justice, Wagner set fire to a Tesla showroom. Then, just weeks later, firebombed the New Mexico Republican Party headquarters. The message was clear. This was no random act. It was a targeted strike against conservative values, free speech, and political engagement. Here's Pam Bondi to give us more.
This guy is charged with committing the Tesla offense in New Mexico in February and then the GOP headquarters in March. These people thought they could get away with it. They can't. This is our fifth major arrest on Tesla. I guess they are listening. They better listen. This guy is looking at 40 years in prison. I have directed my prosecutors not to make any offers. He is going away, if convicted, for 40 years. He is the fifth major arrest we've made, and stay tuned for more.
Graffiti scrawled on the Republican office read, ICE equals KKK. The attack, according to investigators, was fueled by extremist ideology and executed with deliberate intent. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force moved quickly, arresting Wagner in a dramatic early morning raid. Here's Amy Barella, Republican Party of New Mexico chairwoman.
This is not how democracy works. No one has the right to threaten, intimidate, or attack others because of their beliefs.
Attorney General Pam Bondi made it clear. No plea deals, no leniency, not when it comes to domestic terrorism. This strong stance reflects a broader Republican commitment to law and order. When our institutions are under attack, be it from foreign threats or radical activists at home, Republicans are leading the charge to defend them. Whether it's in a local GOP office or in the halls of Congress, we believe that every American has the right to speak freely and participate in democracy, without fear, without violence, and without compromise. To those trying to silence conservatives through intimidation or destruction, here's the answer. Republicans aren't going anywhere. For years, we've watched as single federal judges, often in liberal-leaning districts, issued nationwide injunctions that blocked key executive actions, especially those championed by President Trump. Immigration, border security, and regulatory reform halted by one person's pen. Well, House Republicans have had enough, and now they're taking action.
Some of the things that we found, which are shocking, billions and billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think it's very important. And that's one of the reasons I got elected. I said, we're going to do that. Nobody had any idea it was that bad, that sick, and that corrupt. And it seems hard to believe that judges want to try and stop us from looking for corruption, especially when we found hundreds of millions of dollars worth, much more than that, in just a short period of time. And we want to weed out the corruption. And it seems hard to believe that a judge could say, we don't want you to do that. Well, so maybe we have to look at the judges, because that's a very serious, I think it's a very serious violation.
The No Rogue Rulings Act passed 219 to 213. would limit the ability of individual judges to issue sweeping, nationwide blocks on government policy. Instead, decisions would be restricted to the parties involved, unless it's a class action lawsuit or a panel of 3 judges rules otherwise. The bill also ensures that major multi-state cases can't be funneled through hand-picked courts. Instead, they'll be reviewed by a neutral 3-judge panel with fast-tracked appeal to the Supreme Court. This means less judge shopping, more consistency, and fairer outcomes. Here's Speaker Johnson with more.
Remember, 67% of all national injunctions over the last 100 years have been issued against one president. His name is Donald J. Trump, and 92% of those were issued by Democrat-appointed judges to the bench.
President Trump and Republican leaders are fully behind the bill, calling it essential to keeping his American First agenda moving forward, without interference from partisan judges. Democrats, of course, are crying foul. And let's be honest, they've used the courts for years to bypass voters and stall Republican reforms they couldn't defeat at the ballot box. This isn't about policies, it's about principles. Republicans are standing up for government that works the way our founders intended, with checks, balances, and real accountability. The bill now heads to the Senate, where its path is uncertain, but the message is loud and clear. Republicans are fighting for a system that respects the will of the people, not the whims of a single judge.
Stay up to date with current events.